Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, I will not be on here long. I've told y'all before, sometimes it's easier for me to go live than it is for me to sit and try to record this video. I got to get this thought out as I'm having it. All right. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. I really do appreciate it. But here is my question for us. Are we noticing a pattern? Is it me? Or are we noticing a pattern? And hear me out. It could be the conspiracy theorist in me. I don't know. It could be. But are we noticing a pattern? And here's what I mean. So we've gotten all this information and all this news out from Marvel. We do understand that Jonathan Majors is his character Kang has been pruned from the timeline. So we won't be getting that storyline in its entirety. From what I've seen in publications, there are a lot of folks saying that, well, all that was wrapped up in the Loki series. And so we're not going to worry about that anymore. It was wrapped up in the Loki series. Kang is gone. Okay. So now we're sitting back and we're watching Blade. And Blade has been presented to us since 2018, 2019. That is supposed to come out. And here we are in 2024 waiting for Blade, and it's supposed to come out, 2025, 2026. Okay. It's almost been 10, it's encroaching on 10 years. Uh well, because it's almost at that, yeah. 21, 2, 4, yeah. So that's 5 years. So if you're adding an extra 2 years for them to start recording and then put it out, that's going to be 7 years. Since they said that they were going to, since Marvel introduced and said that they were going to bring Blade out. So here, in this past month or so, we have had Deadpool and Wolverine come out. And my understanding, because I haven't watched it yet, and that's just because I'm not a big fan of Deadpool. So it's not one of those movies that I would just rush to the theaters to see. I'd probably wait if it comes on Disney Plus or whatever. And that's a me thing, a personal thing. But my understanding is that Wesley Snipes' version of Blade was introduced in there. So y'all put that down in the comments if I am speaking facts, or is there something that is not what's going on. So it's my understanding that he was in the movie as Blade. But anyway, that gets to my point that shout out to Blue. I was watching his just recent video about from Screen Rant. He was going over the article from Screen Rant, talking about quote unquote, the fans are wanting the new Blade movie to be put on the shelf or stop, to no longer do anything with it, and reboot, have Wesley Snipes come back as Blade. And I may be stretching because, again, I told y'all, sometimes I can just look at things in different ways. But isn't this pretty much not the exact same argument, but there is this pattern of sowing the discourse, making it loud and proud, and then having the people who are okay, let me explain this. So do you all remember when Chadwick Boseman passed away? And right after he passed away, everyone was sad, everyone was all of this. Please do not get me wrong. But there was a good consensus about people wanting to see who they were going to recast. So instead of that Black Panther 2 movie that Ryan Coogler had written, and I still want to see that, so I would love to see that script. The main consensus, as I remember it, it was, okay, you don't have to bring out Black Panther 2 because I think uh, they were looking to work on Black Panther 2 to release it for 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like, okay, you've got enough time. You can spend, you can release it later instead of 2022. You could release it in 2023. You could take a year. Everybody, kind of cool down. We can hire somebody. We can recast, and we could get that person to work in. Then you started hearing this, oh, well, the cast wouldn't be able to work with anybody but Chadwick because it was Chadwick. Now, this wasn't information coming from the cast. This was information coming out from the ether, out here in the ether somewhere, that information was coming out. And then you started hearing when people started talking about recasting, then it was, well, Shuri can take the mantle because Shuri was the Black Panther in the comics. And I was like, okay, but we hadn't seen Black Panther actually be Black Panther. There's so many stories that we could do with, and all you would need to do is just recast this person. But anyway, my whole point is you saw those little small rumblings turned into what, 4 or 5 months later, or 2 or 3 months later, they announced that they were not going to recast uh, T'Challa. They were not going to recast anybody in the role. And so you remember there were seeds of discontent sowed within the community. And then the ultimate thing happened is that they did not recast. And it's even gotten to the point where they're even trying to remove T'Challa from the zeitgeist of Marvel and Marvel Comics, even to where if you watched X-Men 97, even if you watched X-Men when X-Men came out on Saturday morning cartoons, you realize that there were a couple of episodes where the Black Panther was in that episode, or he was in that universe with Spider-Man and all of them. It was T'Challa. It wasn't T'Chaka. It was T'Challa. And in X-Men 97, they just decided that they were just going to retcon that. And then they tried to explain, oh, it was always there because they're trying to use the Black Panther of the MCU verse to say, oh, well, he would have been a child at that point. And then when you argue back, well, if that's the case, Spider-Man wouldn't be here. But you had Spider-Man in there. You had Peter Parker in there. I thought that the X-Men 97 universe was a totally different universe than the MCU universe. But as it deals with T'Challa, it's the same universe. It's the same universe. He dead. Everybody else could be alive and kicking and be separate from the universe, except for MCU T'Challa. He is the same. He, according to Marvel, he is the same person in all these universes. And you all that are part of the recast T'Challa, those of us who are part of this, we're just supposed to suck up and just understand that that's how it is. There's no way that there could be a multiverse for the Black Panther, but there is a multiverse for Spider-Man. There's a multiverse for the X-Men because there's a multiverse for the X-Men, but there is no multiverse. There is no other universe for MCU T'Challa other than the fact that he's dead. And you all should be happy and satiated with the fact that he has a son, and that son is going to be Black Panther. He is going to be T'Challa. Why are you now not happy and satisfied? Because, that's what we decided that we're going to give you. And any argument to it, even if your argument makes sense, it's not going to make sense because we're going to, the powers that be are going to smack it up, flip it, and make it not seem like we see it to be. So what I'm saying to you is this. That's what I saw with Black Panther. This is sort of what I'm seeing with Blade. Now, let me get to what I'm talking about. So, I'm not pulling out any articles, I'm not doing anything like that. I am just asking, is it me? Am I seeing this pattern? Or I could be crazy. Y'all can tell me down in the comments. I'm cool. I just want to know, am I seeing what I see? So now we get towards to Blade. Now, we've been waiting for Blade since 2019. They've been having all of these quote unquote issues with Blade. The writing, the director, you have actors leaving because you have to start to think about, why is it so difficult to make a vampire killing movie? Why is this particular movie so difficult to make? Why is the script so difficult to come up with something? Now, I know I've heard people say that, at one point there was a script where the Blade character was going to be a secondary character, and Mahershala didn't like that. I don't blame him. But still, why is it so difficult to make a vampire slaying video? And again, this is not even a slight to this network, but I'm quite sure that those people that make movies for Tubi can come up with an acceptable vampire killing movie that will become an instant cult classic. Hey, Ernest, and hey, Cornelius. I'm so glad that you all are here. You all are listening to my ramblings and things like that. But I'm coming to a point. But it's been so difficult. And when you ask them, oh, well, we want to be able to put our best foot forward and we want to be able to do all of this stuff. Okay. So why does it take 6 years? Because currently you don't have a script. Currently you don't have a director. So what is really going on? So let me tell you what I think is going on. So Screen Rant has put out an article saying that the quote unquote fans are wanting Blade to be canceled, or the new iteration of Blade to be canceled, and then for them to go and write a movie with Wesley Snipes. Am I seeing a pattern? Because remember, I told you earlier about people were talking about with the recast T'Challa that, okay, hey, y'all take a year off and y'all write, you write the script, because we had heard that Ryan Coogler had a script. Hey, just hold that script, wait a year, take it that time in the year to recast, and then work that script. Then all of a sudden, all of this discourse started to happen. So now you understand what I'm saying. And then maybe 4 or 5 months later, we get, oh, we're not recasting T'Challa. I'm starting to see that now. So these little rumblings from the best way that I can say it is, it's like, you remember when George Floyd, that you had the George Floyd protest and everybody was protesting, and then you had these people, these actors that were going out there defaming and vandalizing stuff, and they tried to make it seem like it was the protesters, when really they were actors hired and paid by other people to either emulate Antifa or to make it seem like the protesters were violent and all they were doing was tearing stuff up and they were rioting and all this other stuff, when that wasn't the truth. And thank goodness for social media, when people were putting their phones up to it and you could see that these people were sent out there to cause trouble. I'm thinking that this Screen Rant article that again, shout out to Blue, that he was going over, that is giving me that vibe. it's giving me that vibe that there are people who are acting like those bad actors during the George Floyd, who were hired by whomever they were hired by to vandalize property and to do all of these things to stir up people to say, oh, no, 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 no. We don't want that because, to sow that seed of people, we don't want it, because it's the same thing that I think that happened with the recast T'Challa. You had these bad actors that were sowing the seeds of discontent. And so then you hear Nate Miller say, oh, well, I made that decision in 5 minutes. How did you make that decision in 5 minutes? How did you make a decision to not recast T'Challa? Oh, well, he died. Okay. And I don't want anybody to mishear me like I'm being harsh about anything, but I'm asking the question: how did you make a decision about a character that is a main character in the MCU that you have done a $1 billion movie with? Because I asked this question in a couple of my some videos long time. What self-respecting Black man is going to talk himself out of a job? Unless there is no respect there, you got paid some money. Because notice you've got all these side projects that everybody is trying to promote. That Wakanda series where we're going to talk about Wakanda, the Iron, what's her name? The Iron Gal. I don't remember what her name is. Riri Williams. You're talking about these kinds of characters. Don't get me wrong. I am not telling you that those characters are not important or are not compelling. I am not saying that. And for some people, they may not be compelling. What I am saying is this: what would make you trade the possibility of having $1 billion and getting paid on the back end, another $1 billion movie and getting paid on the back end, versus you doing some things that are going to Disney Plus, where you're not going to make as much money from those particular IPs than you would from a Black Panther 2 with a recasted T'Challa? What did you get paid? Because I'm out here questioning. Because again, is it just me? It could just be me. I could just be out here swinging in the wind, and my thoughts are just kind of everywhere. But anyway, getting back to the discourse. Remember, I talked about the bad actors and the George Floyd thing. That's what I'm seeing now. This Screen Rant article gives me, there are some bad actors out here sowing this information out here. We want Blade back. We want the original Blade back. Let's stop the Mahershala Ali Blade. Because Disney doesn't want to come out and say, we don't want to invest in this movie anymore. We don't want to do this movie. So there are bad actors that are being paid out here to say, oh, we want the original Blade person back. We want Wesley Snipes. We want that. We want to be able to do that. I don't know, y'all. Again, I could just be talking out Mateo. That's I'm known for that. It's just as easy to say you do not want to do this Blade movie. But see, Disney is trying, in my opinion, they don't want the movie to come out. They don't want the movie at all anymore. But I think, I don't know what Mahershala Ali's contract is, but they probably are not wanting. Sorry about that, y'all. They probably don't want a Scarlett Johansson situation on them. I don't know exactly if Mahershala is a producer on this project. I don't know if he's going to be paid on the back end of this project. I don't know exactly where that stuff is going on. But I'm seeing some bad actors out here sowing the seed of discontent, pulling the public who have been looking forward to Blade, to try to make it seem to say, okay, we don't want that Blade. We don't want the new Blade because there's so many problems with this new Blade. Let's get Wesley Snipes and then and get him caught up into being Blade. I don't know, y'all. I hope I articulated. Y'all let me know if I'm articulating it and that there is an understanding. So here's, I'm just going to stop and then I'm going to just try to explain it like this. With Black Panther, when Chadwick Boseman died, there were bad actors that were sowing the seed of don't recast him. Shuri could be Black Panther. And those seeds, those bad actors and their politics got so much louder than people saying, hey, take a year off because there's already a script written. It's a good script. It's not going anywhere. You just need a new actor. Spend that time to try to find a new actor. I question Kevin Feige. You just had $1 billion movie. What is stopping you from wanting to do another $1 billion? And then Nate Moore says, "Oh well, it was a 5-minute decision." Really, really, for a character that you said was you grew up with this character and you really, really wanted to bring this character to the big screen. This is what you've said. You've said this in interviews. To then make a whole 360 switch. I don't know. I'm seeing it in this movie. I'm seeing it. I am seeing it now with the Blade. There's some bad actors out here who are sowing seeds of discontent and confusion because there's a lot of us that understand and know the importance of Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade, when he did it, how that saved the MCU, how they saw that they could do movies, superhero movies, and how to do superhero movies. Because there'll be a faction of us that'll say, yeah, because you could, you don't really need to do a whole reboot. You could just do Blade 4. You don't have to do a whole reboot. You can just do Blade 4 and it'll be fine. And everybody will get their way. You have wasted two-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali's time. And Mahershala, don't let them cast you away without paying you. If they decide that they no longer want to make this movie, they have wasted 5 years of your time. And I know people say, well, he's been doing a little projects, but there was a point in time when Mahershala was not doing any projects. You're talking about someone that went from doing two to three projects a year to possibly doing one every other year. Mahershala, don't let them waste your. If they've wasted your time, they need to pay you for it. But I'm seeing some airs of discontent. I don't know if this Blade movie is going to be made or not. They are not making any types of. It's not an urgency for Marvel. So I don't know if this is going to get made or not. It's just an interesting thing. But is it just me? Am I seeing the same pattern that I saw with the Black Panther recast T'Challa when Chadwick Boseman? I'm seeing the same type of stuff. Little articles coming out about not wanting to recast because Shuri took up the mantle, and a lot of people ran with that. To now we're getting to, oh, we can just There's only one Blade, that's Wesley Snipes. And we just need to not reboot the Blade series. Let's just get Wesley Snipes to play Blade. We don't need to recast. We don't need to have a new movie or reboot movie. You notice, is that a pattern? It's not exactly the same, but it's the same as what happened with the recast T'Challa, and the same what happened with T'Challa and Nate Moore and Ryan Coogler. But it's quite similar, and it's a pattern that's showing up. I don't know. Y'all let me know if I am. Do you all see a pattern? If so, what do you all see? Or you could say, yeah, I don't see a pattern at all. But there is just this pattern that's this starting to build up. And I am interested to see. Let's see. Ernest says it's due to the MCU politics would have made the protagonist a secondary character. Okay, that was about that one script that they had for Blade. Okay. Let me go. We need both. We're in a multiverse saga. If Spider-Man can do it, then so can the Blade IP. Exactly. But you notice how there is some kind of undercurrent going on over there at the House of Mouse, where they are trying so desperately to prune T'Challa from the timeline. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but your avatar says P. Is it Ptolemy? They sabotage Black people and women on purpose in the MCU, sabotage other people of color, sabotage the DC Extended Universe and other rival franchises with their infiltrators and simp. And now this. When will people going to learn? BlackRock, Disney, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and other are destroying culture and film industry diversity. They're blackballing creativity. It's a war. Interesting. 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 I just did a video where I read an article where the guy just basically claimed out and said if it's not pale and male, it won't sell. He said the pale and male part, but the it won't sell is me adding my own little flavor to it. But basically that's what he was saying. I'm just paraphrasing, but that's basically what he was saying. If it's not pale and male, it's not going to sell. And you do see I have seen movies where they have like sabotaged it because if, like I said, if there are women in it, if women and people of color and Black folks are not uh put in put in the cast as side characters, then no one is wanting to go see those. They're saying no one wants to go see those movies because, like I said, I went to go see the Marvels, and yes, it was the lowest selling or the lowest. It made the least money, but the movie wasn't bad. I mean, it was better than Thor 1 and Thor 2. It was better than what was it, Iron Man 3? But I think it was sabotaged because again, it was a woman led with a Black woman and another woman of color in the movie, and they're leading those movies, and I think that was the issue in the part of it. But I'm gonna get off here. I've been on here 30 minutes. Y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Are y'all noticing the pattern, or is it just me? Is it just me? I'm starting to think probably in the next 6 months or so, we're gonna see a slowly phasing down. and in regards to Blade, because if they don't have a director and they don't have a writer within the next 6 months, I personally do not think that they're going to make that movie. And they're going to say, oh, we're going to go back and we're going to use Wesley Snipes. Okay, that's what you say. You know, Wesley Snipes is trained in he's some kind of martial arts style, and he can do all of this. You don't have to, we can use him because you don't have to train him to do martial arts because he's already trained in a martial arts style. Whereas, all of these things are going to start popping up and cropping up and propping up and cropping up. And meanwhile, you're going to hear an announcement of another character that's male and pale, that's going to come out, and everybody's going to get excited about this particular character. And then you're going to see the powers that be push this particular character, and then and it's going to be so loud, and it is going to be so proud that it's going to fade into the Blade is just going to fade into the abyss. Because I bet you in 6 months we're going to hear about this character that we're moving forward. The multiverse saga and the multiverse thing is going to come to an end, and we're going to push these particular characters up front. This particular character up front that's going to be the new face, or the new face of the franchise at MCU. All right, people. And if Ryan Coogler is not careful, he's about to end up like his character in Fruitvale Station, or to get blackballed like they did with Snipes, Majors, and attemptively so with Ray Fisher, all black. Interesting. Interesting. That's interesting. I I don't know where, I don't know, because you sound like you know something more than I do. I'm just getting this feeling that there are just some bad actors out here who are sowing the seeds of discontent into the zeitgeist of Marvel fans, particularly Black Marvel fans. And I'm interested to see if I'm the only person that's seeing this pattern, or am I overreacting? But y'all let me know down in the comments. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Also, I've lost my train of thought. Okay. All right, I'm gone, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to my little impromptu rant. I appreciate y'all. And as please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye bye.